afternoon, everyone. Hello to our virtual class. Today is a Yoga-Pilates Fusion. So we will start off with a short meditation, not too long, but we want to get our mindset and both our body and our mind in the right place before we begin our movement. So as always, we want it to be mindful movement. So let's just find a comfortable spot on our mat. Resting the tops of the hands on the knees. Just close the eyes. Just try to take the focus onto your mat. Just allow yourself to relax and allow yourself to become present. Focusing in on our breath. And just connecting to your inner being. Just notice how you are feeling physically, how you are feeling mentally. Acknowledge those feelings. Set your intentions for your practice. Establish that breath. So as we're switching between yoga and Pilates today, if you are a seasoned practitioner, you can go back and forth from your yogic and Pilates breath, if that suits you. If you find that confusing, just stick to one breath, whether it's the yogic breath or the Pilates breath. Both are similar. We both breathe on the exhale, on the exertion of the exercise, on the harder part of the exercise. It's just a difference of how we breathe. Nose and out through the mouth in Pilates. In through the nose, out through the nose, through the back of the throat in yoga. But both those exhalations, we want to connect to those bandhas. Those deep pelvic floor muscles, we call them in Pilates, bandhas, we call them in yoga. So as you're breathing here, just start to lengthen that breath, start to calm yourself down. Focus here. Find that peace, find that connection in your breath. Lengthening, deepening your inhales and exhales. Creating a rhythm. Connecting that exhalation to the bandhas, to the pelvic floor, so engaging. Pulling up and in with those muscles as you exhale. And bringing all that energy in and down on the exhale, up and out on the inhale. Roll the shoulders down away from the ears. And then inhale, take a big breath up. Exhale, let's bring all that energy in and down through our heart center as we prepare for our movements. Take the right hand beside the right hip. Reach up, stretch through that left arm, reaching and stretching to the left side of the body. Inhale, come back to the center. Left hand beside the left hip, reach up with that right stretch. And inhale, come back to the center. Take the right hand, press down through your wrist and your elbow. Reach up through your left. Look up towards the thumb if you can. Just twisting your body. And then bring that left hand down. Same thing, to the forearm and the elbow. Press down. Reach it up. And then as you come up, we're going to reach that right hand behind the spine. Twist a little deeper. Twisting to the right, the left hand on the right knee. Bring it in through the center and twist the other way. Stretch. And then come back to the center. Let's unravel ourselves. And we'll come into a tabletop position here with the knees underneath the hips and the wrists underneath the shoulders. So we're going to find our tabletop positioning here. Nice and neutral. Let's open that spine. Inhale, stretch up. And then exhale, contract. Connect to your bandhas as you round your spine. Puff out your back. Look towards your belly. Squeezing into those bandhas. And then inhale, open. Drop the shoulders, maybe a slight bend in the wrists as you do this, or in the elbows. And then exhale, tuck that tailbone between your legs, round your spine, push the mat away from you. Exhale and contract. One more time here, inhale, stretch it up. And exhale, we round and tuck. Really engage those core muscles here. And then come back to center. We're going to walk those hands over to the right, looking towards the right toes. Just stretching laterally again, and then walk those hands over to the other side. And look back towards the left toes. Just a nice opening for the side body here. And then inhale, bring it back to the center. Try to connect with those bandhas, those core muscles here, as we lift the left foot and the right arm. Balance here, square off your hips. Drop that left hip, and then drop down. Stretch out. And inhale, lower. Again, reach, stretch. Flex through the feet. Inhale, down. Stretch it out. Reach, lengthen through your body. Try to keep your hips squared down to the mat. Inhale, bring it down. And then just the leg now. So the left leg comes up. This time we're going to point that toe. Cross it over to the right. Look over your right shoulder. And stretch there. And then bring it back to the center. Take that right leg out. Point through the toe. Cross it over. And look back over the left shoulder this time towards that toe. Nice lateral stretches here to open everything up. Bring it back to the center. Tuck the toes under. We're going to come into a hover. And then we're going to step the feet back to plank. Tuck that tailbone under. And bring it back to a hover. Step it back to a plank. Into a hover. Two more. Step it back to a plank. And in to a hover. This is our last one. Step back and back. And in and in. Push back now. Downward facing dog. So roll your shoulders away from your ears. Spread your fingers, spread your toes. Shoulders behind the wrists. Rolling those shoulders away from the ears. Drawing the heels down. Bend that right knee. Lengthen the left heel. And then bend the left. Lengthen the right. And bend the right. Lengthen through the left. This time, cross that right on the outside edge of your left foot. Walk your hands back towards your body. So I'd be like this, right crossed over the left. Bring the arms up. Take that right wrist, stretch over to the left. Bring it back to the center, roll it down. Step back with the left, and then the right, back into your downward facing. Pedal out a few times just to reset. And then you bend the left, lengthen that right heel down, cross that left over toward the outside edge of the right, walk your hands back. Interlace, and then lift up. And now we're going to grab the left. Grab the left, pull over to the right, stretch. Again, lateral stretches. That seems to be where I'm going today. Inhale up, exhale, fold down. Walk it out, step back with the right, pedal those feet. And then look forward, bend the knees, step hop, or walk to the top of your mat. Lengthen through your spine. You can press your hands on your shins, draw those shoulders back, maybe hands down if you can reach. Exhale as you fold. Try to have those big toes touching the heels just about an inch apart. And then open the arms, come all the way up, stretch it, and bring those hands down through your heart center, down by your side. Let's take a vinyasa here. Let's start to warm that body up. Inhale, bring those arms up. On the exhale, we fold and hinge through the waist, keeping the legs as straight as you can. Don't worry about how low you come. Inhale, come halfway up. Lengthen through that spine. On your exhale, bring the hands down, bend your knees if you need to. Step, hop, or jump it back into your plank. Drop your knees if you like for your chaturanga, or come forward, lower, lift, drop those shoulders, and exhale. Push back to downward. Lift the right leg up, stretch it. Come high on the left toes, round your spine. Bring that right knee towards the nose, puff out your back, hold, use your core here. And then big step forward with the right foot. Relax the left toes, try to make sure that right knee is above your right ankle. Just push forward here. Hold this. You're opening up through the left hip flexor here. So stay with your breath. You can stay right here. You can also come up onto the knee. And then if you want to go a little deeper and stretch the quad, reach back with the right hand. Grab that left foot, ankle. Just pull. You'll feel that stretch through that left quad. Then bring the hands down if you're holding. You can stay here again. If you want to go deeper, lift. Place your left hand, your left wrist in line with your right ankle. You can use a block if you have one. Twist. Look up towards the thumb. Breathing here. Let's bring that right hand down. Straighten the legs to stretch. You can always bring your feet a little closer together. Now shift that right hip back a little bit. So your hips are squared. You should feel, if you do that little adjustment, you should feel a little bit more in that right hamstring here. So you want your both legs to be straight in this asana. So if that means you have to come up a little higher to get your legs straight, that's where you would have the pose. Try not to round the spine here. And then we're going to get our hands flat on the floor. Bend through that knee, shift back to a three-legged dog and stretch up. And if you like, you can do a chaturanga, vinyasa. You can leave it out and stay in your downward dog or child pose. If you want to go a little bit more advanced, take a one-leg vinyasa. Push it back, stretch it here. Lift the left leg right away. Pull that right heel down. Come high on the right toes. Pull that left knee into the chest. Puff out your back. Round your spine. Pull that belly in. Hold. Use those core muscles. Step that left foot in between the hands and drop the right knee. Relax the right toes. First, we're just pushing forward. So if you want to go deeper, you can always make the space between your left foot and your right knee a little bit bigger, but push the weight forward here. And you should feel it probably either in here or even in that left glute. So push forward. So I try to teach to all levels. So if this is enough for you, stay right here, hold this. If you want to take it one step deeper, you come up and push through the knee. If you want to go even more, you're going to bend through and grab the top of the foot or the ankle and just pull in, and that's going to stretch through that right quad muscle right here. Release gently if you're holding. You can always keep your knee down here also. Come up if you want to get a little deeper into that lunge. Hold down here. And then line up that right wrist with the left heel. Twist to the left this time, looking back towards the thumb. Bring it down, and now we straighten both of those legs. So again, you can always move the legs a little closer. Do that little adjustment, shift that left hip back a little bit. Fold down. If you have blocks, blocks are helpful here if you're not coming down very low. Send your breath down into that left hamstring now. And then bend through that knee, get your weight onto the hands. We're going to shift back into our three-legged dog on the left. And then your choice. Regular vinyasa, no vinyasa, one leg vinyasa. Stretch through that spine. Push back using your core muscles here. And then turn your feet. So turn both of the feet towards the right side. We're going to come down in a twisted downward dog. So we're not going to switch those feet over. You're going to keep them twisted. We're doing 10 reps like this, but if you get tired before your 10 reps are done, I want you to break. Exhale when you come down. This is one of those moves that I use for both Pilates and yoga. So think of it like a twisted downward facing dog, but we're really getting nice work here in our oblique and in our arms. Halfway there, down, and lift. So notice I'm not switching my feet are staying towards the right side. The lower you drop that hip, the harder it will be. Lift right back into that downward dog, that twisted downward dog. I think there's 2 more. Last one. We're going to go right to the other side, but if you do need a break, take that little break. We're going to break here in downward dog, but if the wrists are bothering you, come down and you do your 10 at your own pace on the other side. Drop that hip. Exhale, lift. Slow. All the way back. Don't bend the elbows when you come here. Shoulders above the wrists, shoulders behind the wrists. So it's like a plank, shoulders are above the wrists, and your downward dog, your shoulders should always be behind your wrists. Lift. Up. 2 more. Down slow. Stretch, lift. You should feel that right oblique. Come back to the center. This time I want you to look forward. Bend the knees. You're going to come to seated. Extend those legs out. Roll it down slowly, 1 vertebrae at a time. Inhale, reach those arms up. Pilates roll ups. Slowly. Roll up. We're aiming to roll ourselves up from a lying down position without using momentum. That's the key. So momentum would be moving quickly through that movement, which is what we don't want to do. We want to move slowly. So exhale. If you come all the way up and through into that roll-up position, you reach forward. It's not quite a forward fold in yoga. It's more of a C shape, curve in the spine. When you come down, you try to get your lower back to touch first. If you can't come up all the way, you'd rather stay right here. Hold, breathe for 3 breaths, and then roll it back down. But if you are coming up, I like to use the analogy of, imagine that you're rolling through water. You don't want to make a splash in that imaginary water. So if you moved quickly, you would make a splash. If you move slow and controlled, you won't. So just notice, are you making a splash in your imaginary water? If you are, you're going too fast. This is going to be your last one. We're going to roll all the way down. And then we're going to bend our knees. Bend your knees. And we're going to go into our Pilates imprint. If you're not familiar with your Pilates imprint, think of engaging those deep pelvic floor muscles or those bandhas and pressing your lower back down onto the mat with your exhalation. Keeping the back flat is going to keep that back supported and keep the work in the abs. So hands can be beside the hips if you don't need support for your head. going to crunch it up. When you crunch up, you look towards your knees in that crunch. Lift. Inhale, lower. As you come up, you hold and empty all that breath out. And inhale, lower down. Crunch. And lower. Hollow your belly button down into your spine. And we move slowly here. We want to contract deep into those intercostal muscles, not the surface muscles, intercostal muscles. Inhale, lower it down. Keep crunching like this. Warming up into those core muscles. Should be warm already from those planks. Keep going like this. Always support the head and neck. If you feel tension in that area, there's no need to feel tension unnecessarily. You can always support. And when you support, spread your fingertips like this. So imagine that you're supporting a baby's head. You wouldn't just hold the base of the neck. You would want to really support. So if you hold just the base of your neck, you're not getting as much support as you need to. 2 more. On the next one, stay up here. You can choose to just hold here. If you want to add more, we're going to reach one arm or both arms up towards the ears without dropping the head down. So you should feel when you reach those arms up that there's more work in the upper part of the abs. As long as you're staying lifted and nothing's changing about your upflexion, you should feel we're adding more weight, more length here, so it's harder to stay lifted. This is an upper ab challenge. Last one. Crunch for 10, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Stay lifted if you can. One leg at a time. Lower ab challenge now. Down slow, up slow. So make sure when you're doing this that you don't let your back lift up as you drop that toe down. Stay looking towards the knees so you keep that neck neutral. Focus on those lower abs. We're going to do the other side. So you're going to lower this one all the way down. If you need to, you can always drop your head down. If you're feeling too much in the neck, just drop it down. Use the exhale, moving slowly. So you can see how slow I'm moving. If you go fast on these, you're really not going to feel too much. And then keep that leg lifted, lower the head down. We'll go to one leg. So you're going to crunch up slowly. We're still in that imprint. That back is still flat. Inhale, lower it down. Emptying all that breath. Pull belly to spine. We're going to stay lifted on the next one. Adding arms and legs maybe. You can choose just one. Reaching the arm above the head, the leg at 45 degrees. So we're making like a V position. Nothing should change with your upper body. So you shouldn't drop down in that upper torso. You shouldn't lose your imprint. Because now we're challenging both the upper and lower abdominals at the same time. So if you do this correctly, you should feel lots of core work here. You're staying in that imprint. You're connecting to those intercostal muscles. 3. Last one here. Let's take it into another pulse. Little pulses. 2, 3. 7, 8, 9, 10. Head down, toe down. Stay in that imprint. Keep it zipped up. Bring the other leg up. Slow crunches first. Lift. Slow, lower. Up. Try to keep that neck in neutral so you're not pulling on the neck or jamming the chin into the chest. Empty all the breath before you inhale and lower. On the next one, we stay lifted. We're going to add the arm and leg. Both arms or one. Reach. Don't let anything change with this part of your body. If you use both arms and your neck is okay, you're going to get even more of that upper abdominal challenge. If you have weights close by too and you wanted to add that extra intensity, you could always use your weights too. There's lots of ways to add or take away intensity. One more. And pulse it. 10. Crunch. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Lower the head. Float the other leg up. So you're meeting legs both in tabletop. And we'll do just the lower abs. So toe tap. Down slow. Inhale and then exhale, lift up. We want to make sure that lower back does not lift as we do this movement. And I use the exhale both on the way down. Exhale here. Quick inhale and then exhale up because it really helps me squeeze into those lower parts of the abdominals. Down. Keep your shoulders relaxed and down. Make sure they're not tensing, lifting up off the mat. And you can stay like this. If you want to add a little more, as you crunch back up now, you're going to crunch and lift the leg. Lower the leg, drop the head. Crunch, lift. Move at the same time. Head drops, toe drops. Crunch, leg lifts, head lifts. Down with the head, down with the toe. Float and lift. Down slow. Make sure that back stays flat. Flow with your breath. But try to keep the tempo nice and small, nice and slow. Head down, toe down. Crunch it, lift. Let's do one more each side like this. Should be feeling those abs. If you need to take a break at any time, because I am going, it's a long ab series here, I know. If you feel like you're losing your imprint, come down, reset, take a breath, and come back up. Lower your head, keep both legs lifted. We're going to crunch up and lower. 3 more. Follow that belly down to spine. 2. Stay lifted on this last one. We're going to add those arms again. This is the last part of this ab series right now. Lift, exhale as you lift. Try not to let that head drop down. One more here. Let's crunch it. 10. Lift. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Lower the head. Drop one leg at a time. Tuck under. Float up to a nice yoga bridge here. So stretch the abs out. Stretch the back out. Always good to counterbalance flexion, crunches with extension. Press through the feet, the heels, press through the shoulders. And then slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Let's get that upper back to touch. Then roll through the mid back. So we're going through that imprint position, the lower back. And then that rest to neutral. From here, extend the arms and legs out. Take a stretch. Roll it up. Cross the legs. And we're going to come back to our downward facing dog. Step it back. From here, come forward to plank. Tuck that tailbone under. Make sure your back isn't doing the work. Lift, back up. Come forward again. And lift. 3 more. Push the mat away from you. Push back. 2. Make sure that back doesn't sink. So if you think of that imprint position, that little tuck, it actually gets us into a neutral. So the back won't do the work that the abs are supposed to be doing. Look forward and bend knees. Step hop or jump yourself to the top of your mat. Take an inhale, stretch. On your exhale, you fold down. Open the arms, come all the way up. Stretch here. You can take a little back bend if you like, if that feels good. And then bring the hands down into your heart center and then down by your side. Let's sit back into chair pose, Utkatasana. Sweep those arms beside the ears. Have your knees touching, your big toes touching. Connect to those bandhas. Make sure your back doesn't arch out like this. If you do your chair pose like this, all you're going to feel is that lower back. So angle your tailbone down towards the mat. Pull that belly in. Reach the arms. Bring the hands into heart center here. Twist to the right. We're going to try to step back with the left. Big lunge here. Step back and twist. Hold here. Twist your chest as far over to the right side as you can. You can always drop your left knee to modify. We're going to try to step back into that Utkatasana. Bring it to the center. Twist to the left first. Sink down, find your stability. And then big step back with that right leg. Twist your body to the left. Hold and breathe. Keep those bandhas tight, connected. Step back to the center. Straighten the legs. We're going to fold it down. Inhale, stretch and lengthen. Exhale, we're going to take the weight into the hands and step back. Finding our plank. Taking your Chaturanga Dandasana. Stretching into that upward facing dog. Pushing back to that downward facing dog. Stretch that right leg up. Look forward, big step forward with the right foot. This time stay up on the ball of the left. But always, always, you can modify. If that is too much for you, drop that leg down. Come back up here. So it's a warrior one or a low lunge. But I don't want you to turn your foot in because we're going to take this from here into warrior 3. But let's stretch first. Let's work that leg. Bring the arms back. Stretch up. Don't lose the bend in that right knee. And then lean down. Reach the arms up. Bring the arms back up. Still stay in that bend. From here, reach up. Warrior 3, square off those hips. Bring it back to that lunge. Reach it up. Step back. A little bit of balance challenge here. Up. And back. Up. And back. It's only yoga. Don't get stressed out if you fall. It's only yoga. And then from here, down, up, down, up, lift up. Keep going, lunge, up to the chest, 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 step back. Now we'll release it back into that nice hamstring stretch. You're going to feel that release in your glutes and your hamstring. Fold over. Shift right hip back. And then get the weight into your hands here. Bend through your right knee. Let's lift up to a standing split to stretch deeper. Don't worry how high that leg lifts. You don't have to take your hand up, but you can take one or both. To challenge, this is again a nice opening for the legs, the hamstrings, the hips. Bend it back, step all the way, and take a vinyasa if you wish. Push it back. Get ready for the left side. So take 3 breaths here in a down dog. Reset, notice your breath. And then lift that left leg up. Stretch it first. Look forward, take a big step with that left foot. Try to make sure that your knee is directly on top of your ankle if you can. Lift up into that lunge. So hold it here first. I'm going to bring those arms back. Reach up for stretch. And then come forward. Lean it down. Pull those arms up. Pull the belly in. Keep that knee bent. Bring the arms up. And then we're going to try to take this into that warrior 3. Up. Ooh. Balance is usually better on one side. Obviously, my side was the other one. Lift. Bring it back. Lift. Bring it back. Last one. And now down, up, lunge, up, lift, up to the chest. Lift. Step back. Now we get to release, straighten and fold. Shift that left hip back. Move your feet a little closer together if you can't get your legs completely straight. And breathe down. Send the breath into that left hamstring now. And then try to get the weight into the hands. Step forward. Standing split on the other side. Just go as high as you can. Don't worry how high that leg lifts. Doesn't matter, your stretch is your stretch. Step back, bring it back, and if you like, take a vinyasa. Leave it out. If you're tired or you need a break, you can take your child's pose at any time. Let's get back to the core work. So come forward into plank. When you come back, take that left hand, reach it to the outside edge of the right. Bring it back to your plank. Right to left. Modified variation is just plank to downward dog. Twist, reach, bring it back. Twist. Don't worry where on that leg you're touching either. Does not matter. Just reach as far towards the outside edge as you can. Drop it down. Twist and in. Side and side. One more, each side. Stay with your breath. Push back. Drop down. Child's pose. Bring it all the way up. Swing the legs forward again. Let's roll ourselves down. Scoop under. Bend those knees. Go into your Pilates imprint. Press your lower back down. This time bring the hands behind the head. And I want you to float your legs up to tabletop. So make sure that your back is flat. Extend one leg out in between 45 and 90 degrees, and then bring it back to tabletop. Extend the other leg, and bring it back. So you can see naturally, I just switch from my Pilates, my yoga breath to my Pilates breath whenever I get into these Pilates movements. It just has become a force of habit. But again, if it confuses you, just breathe. Pick one and just breathe. Try to hold out for a full exhalation to really squeeze down into those pelvic floor muscles. Add a crunch if you want to add a little bit more. Alternating legs. Crunch, press, extend. Bring it back. Only go down on the angle as low as you can keep your back completely flat. So if it's lifting, that angle's a little bit too low, bring it a little higher up to 90 degrees. We're going to add on here. Out, bring it up to 90, bend and lower. Push out around 45, slowly bring that leg up to 90, bend and lean, lower it down. Push out, lift, and bend. Up, and bend. Make sure the back isn't working here. Now, if you like, stay lifted. Add an extra little crunch here. Lift up, but don't drop your head down. Extra little crunch. It's not going to be very big of a movement, but you'll feel it. It's that extra little lift. Bring it back. Relax it a little bit. Lift a little higher. Bring it back. Little extra crunch. That's optional. That'll give you more ab work here. Crunch. Slow lift. Bend it back. Crunch. Slow lift. And here. Crunch. Slow lift. And here. Keep your legs in. Let's try to bring it up to a Navasana. Hold here. Hold here. Extend. Maybe extend, hold. Keep those bandhas nice and tight. Hold. And then bring it into Baddha Konasana to stretch out the hip flexors. You can lean forward and just allow the hips to open. And then extend the legs out. So have your fingertips facing forward if you can. You can have your knees bent for this also, that's a variation. But for the first one, we're just gonna lift into a reverse plank. So lift up, push through. Try to keep the shoulders down away from the ears, push that pelvis up, hold, and then bring it back. Bring your hands in between your knees and your hips now. Might not happen. We're going to attempt to lift the hips up. Might be a centimeter right now, a millimeter, might be an inch. Just try. This comes, yeah, it's your arms, but this comes mostly from our core. So have your hands in between here. Press in, lean forward a little bit. Push in, try to lift the hips up. If you want, you can lift the legs. Slowly lower down. You should feel that in here. This time now, let's bend our knees. We do a little tricep work. So you're going to lift up here. So start just down and up. Down and up. Bend the elbows. Lift, down, down, bend and straighten, bend and straighten. Rest down. If that's enough for you, stay there. We're going to add a little leg. So we're going to do one leg now. So you lift up, lift one leg up here, bend and up, bend and lift. 3, stretch it, 8 of these. 5, lift it, 6, 7, use your core here, 8, rest it down in between. So you should feel those triceps. We don't want to feel the wrists, so just counterbalance them in between if you're sensitive in that area. Still got to work our core here, especially on the extension of the leg. So lift back up, down, up, down, up. 3, 4, 6, 7, and 8. Bring it in, extend the legs forward, stretch, forward fold. Let's bring it back up. Bend the knees, come back into Halasana. So from here, hold this, you can just hold. Otherwise, we're gonna twist, twist. Working these obliques. Twist, twist. Doesn't have to be a far twist, and it shouldn't be. Twist. Breathe into the obliques. Twist. Twist. You can even straighten your legs if you want more of a challenge. It's going to be really hard to hold that. One more each side. Bring it back to Vinyasa and stretch forward. And then extend the legs forward. Let's do a few little half roll backs here to work those core muscles a little bit more. Scoop under, so half roll back, rolling off the sits bones to the point where you feel your abs, rolling halfway up, not all the way. So it should still be difficult. You don't want to come up for where it feels like, oh, a release. You want to stay, hover in that area, down and halfway up. Exhale down. You can try bending your knees also if you feel like your back is straining here, or just play around with your range of motion. So you should, everybody's range of motion on this is going to be different. I might be going lower or not as low as you are, but you have to find your sweet spot here. So this should be abdominal, not back. So just be careful if you do have any back injuries or back sensitivities. We're going to add. You can just continue like this if you like, or down, one leg up, one leg down, halfway. Down, lift, lower, halfway up. Scoop, lift, lower, halfway up. That leg lift, adding intensity for the lower abdominals. Halfway up. Now, if you want to add even more intensity, opposite arm. So you go down, right leg, left arm, lower, halfway up. Roll down. Keep those shoulders down away from the ears. Down, up, lower, halfway. Down, up, lower. Let's do one more each side. If you need to take a break, if you didn't feel your back at the beginning and you're starting to feel it now, then that means you were in the right position, your abs got tired, you need to take a break. Come back down and little, up an inch, down an inch. Lift. The higher your arms go, the harder it will be. 5, nice and small. 6, 7. Roll it all the way down. Bend those knees. Come back into a nice bridge. Yoga bridge all the way up. Stretch it out. Maybe lift one leg up. And if you did that variation, you're going to switch legs. Lower down slowly, slowly. And let's hug those knees into the chest. Rock it back and forth. Let's stay down. Let's bring the feet as wide as your mat. Just windshield wiper the knees from side to side first. And then you're going to keep your legs, your knees, to the left side. So maybe I'll try to show you this way. Let's see. So my legs are going to stay to the left. Knees to the left. Take your right knee, bring it out a little bit more to the right. Now take your right arm, reach it up above your head, grab that right wrist, and pull over to the left side. If you wanted to go deeper, you can take your left ankle, cross it over your right knee, and this helps to stretch out that psoas muscle that goes all the way down there. You can pull over to the right. So again, we're going back to the beginning where we were stretching laterally here. And then release, unravel, and bring the knees over to the right this time. You can cross that right over the left. Grab the left wrist this time, pull the left to the right. And then come back to the center. Press back into your imprint. I think we're almost towards the end of our class. Lift the legs up. So just bring the legs as straight as you can in this position. Don't worry if they're bent. Hands can be here or behind the head. We're going to go. Drop one and lift. Nice and slow. Only as low as you can keep that back completely flat. So it's not going to be, you can see I'm probably going about 45 degrees. I don't need to go lower than that. It's not about flexibility here, really. It's about control in the abs. Move slowly. Keep the legs split. Crunch. Lift. 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switch. 10. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Carefully drop that leg. You can have it bent. Grab onto the shin or the ankle or the toe. Lift up, stretch. Lower the head. Open that leg out to the right side. Put your hand on your left hip. Make sure that left glute cheek isn't lifting up and up over the mat. Stay with your breath here. Bend the knee, bring it in, and bring it over to the left side. Palm is out.
looking in the opposite direction of the legs. This is a really nice one for any sciatic or piriformis issues. Give that stretch laterally again through the side body. Bring it back through the center. And then we'll bring the opposite leg up. So if you like, you can start with your knee bent. Bring it up, see if that feels good. If it does, then you straighten out. Grab it anywhere on that leg. If you have a yoga strap also, the yoga strap is helpful here. Lift up so you can stretch through your hamstring first. Just like doing the big toe pose standing. A little easier because we don't have to worry about our balance. And then lower the head down. Put the right hand on the right hip as you open that left out to the side. You can go as deep as you like in this position, depending on how open you are in your hamstrings or your hips. Inner thighs also, if you're very tight in that area, you're not going to be up very far. Remember, that leg does not have to be straight. Functional for you. And then bring that knee in. Bring it over to the right side now and twist. Allow your body now to lift and twist up off the mat. And then bring it back to the center. Bend your knees. And let's take it into an inversion. It might just be this. Block underneath, feet against the wall. Or you can go into your shoulder stand. Headstand, if you practice it already, don't try anything new at home without any supervision. Not a good idea. If you're in this variation, just make sure that your back is supported, your neck is okay, the cervical spine is in its neutral curve. So always spend at least 5 breaths in your inversion. And then if you like, you can take it into Halasana, supported or unsupported. Just feel that blood rushing back. You can interlace your hands also here. Yoga Mudra. And then nice and slow, if you want more of a challenge, you can lift and slowly lower. Bring the legs down, extend out. Maybe we'll take one little back bend here. Bring the hands, palms facing down underneath the body. Bend those elbows. Lift up. Just watch that neck here. Matsyasana, the fish pose. Stretch. The weight is in the arms, so don't spend too many breaths here. Just be careful with that neck. And then when you are ready to come down, just gently straighten through those arms. Counterbalance by bringing the knees into the chest, rolling back and forth. And then coming up to seated position to close off our practice. So we'll come up to seated. I'm not going to do a Shavasana today, but we'll just end with a seated small meditation. Just notice here when you're, as we're done our practice, how different your body feels, maybe where your mindset is as well. Hopefully we've gotten to a better place, both physically and mentally, after our movement, our mindful movement. Take a big breath in and exhale down. Thank you so much. Have a great day.